you know, this kind of thing happens. Street Fighter 6 beta ended, and a lot of people are like, okay, should I play Street Fighter 5 to get used to Street Fighter 6? Should I play Street Fighter 4? Should I play Third Strike? Third Strike has parry, right? This game has parry. The mechanics in this game are pretty different than all of those games. Of course, they're going to still be the closest thing to the new Street Fighter game, but that kind of comparison, actually, I've noticed has hurt some of the conversation around Street Fighter 6. Have you guys heard anybody talk about parry? I was reading a thread about drive impact today and like how drive impact is your big call out on moves, right? I see people like, well, if someone's just doing crouching medium kick into like a special cancel, you can just parry and then get a big nasty punish and you're all good the whole time. And I just assume that they say that because they think parry is like how parry is in the old games. Unless you perfect parry, parrying in this game is basically the same as blocking. The bonus you get from parrying is that you gain back drive gauge rather than lose it. And you can cancel regular parry into things too, which is pretty nice, like drive rushes or drive reversals or whatever you want to do. But if you're blocking the same block string or you're parrying the same block string, it's the same. It's not like you parry moves in this game and then you get a big fat punish. There's a bunch of like plus moves that you can do in this game, like Luke's heavy knuckle that's charged up, or like Dragon Lash from Ken, that if you parry, okay, you parried it, there's still plus, right? It doesn't really change the situation that much. But if you use Drive Impact, it's kind of like using a parry in that sense, right? Where it blows through the option and then you smoke them and it gives you a punish, where parry does not give it to you, unless you're perfect parrying. And the way people talk about the game, I think people just assume if a parry exists, the parry must make the frame advantage better for you. So like I keep seeing people talking about the mechanics of the game and they're like, well, you must simply use parry for this or that. But this game is pretty different. This is a nice video made by Automattock here talking about throw techs in this game.
With Drive Rush, you can have frame advantage and go into throw, right?
Yeah, this is really good because Drive Rush gives you 4 extra frames of frame advantage. So even if your move is 0 on block, it becomes +4.
But because throws have a lot of animation frames in this game, it's not like Street Fighter 5 and even Third Strike. It has total 30 frames. So that means I can do this, backdash, and I'm +10. That's why I can do this, backdash, heavy punch, punish.
Heavy punch +10 on backdash there is ridiculous, by the way. Like a lot of people were like, oh no, throw loops are back. But backdash is a really good response, especially wake up backdash into a button that's not even that fast or throw. And that's something that's like not good in Street Fighter 5. It's interesting to think about these mechanics because parry is not what people think it is. I don't know if you guys have watched somebody play like Guile or a character with a fireball and looked at their drive gauge up here when they block moves. It's dreadful. If you block normals or projectiles like 3, 4, 5 in a row, your drive gauge just gets smoked. So you have to use parry to keep your drive gauge alive against fireballs, and you have to use perfect parry to like continue moving after it. But even if you parry fireballs, it's like blocking the fireball, but you don't lose drive gauge. It also blocks high and low. That's true. You know, in older games, parry has the weakness of when you parry, you're very susceptible to getting punished if it gets baited, right? In this game, you can block through the entire recovery of parry. It's like a much safer block button than parry is in other games. You just hold it and you're just chilling. The only thing parry loses to straight up is throw. And I see people already like, that stinks. I want parry to be like, but it's not like that in this game. This game has an entirely new system mechanic, this drive gauge, and it's like very smartly designed. I think the parry being completely unpunishable is really strong. Perfect parry is really interesting. I played against a couple of people who did this and I started to do this more, but if you perfect parry fireballs, you can basically just walk through them. You look like you have God mode enabled or something. It looks ridiculous. And if you get good at it, I think it's something that will really weaken zoning a lot if you get real good at it. Although even still, I think Guile is a menace. The point of regular block versus parry. So if you get thrown out of it, you get punish countered instead of just regular thrown, which punish counter throws are huge damage and they absolutely fucking suck. The other thing is parry locks you into place. So you cannot walk around or move around or do stuff. You're just standing there doing your parry pose like, ha! You have to think about this as a new mechanic in this game. And the ideas behind it are similar, right? Parrying fireballs is good. Parrying buttons and block strings are good, but it's just not the same. It's not good for the same reason. Also, I'm happy that everybody seems to think Luke was terrible in the beta because I thought he seemed perfectly good. Meterless launching knuckle, like that's super good. And like I can parry drive rush and get tons of damage off of it. And like my fireball is good. This is tight. Everybody was like, Luke fucking sucks. And I'm like, hell yeah. You guys keep that up. Keep saying he's terrible. Let's get this guy some buffs for the final game, you know what I'm saying?